During the past 10 years, the Cherokee Nation has made great strides toward improving the quality of life for the Cherokee people.
In the late 1990s, the Cherokee Nation was facing several challenges. It did not have an annual budget. The Bureau of Indian Affairs investigated the government's financials. The Tribal Council refused to meet, and the principal chief tried to fire every member of the Marshal Service and to disband their tribal courts. Simply, the Cherokee Nation was in chaos. The people felt it was time for new leadership, a new purpose, bringing a new era of change.
In 1999, the Cherokee people elected Chad Smith as principal chief. He met the challenge of a government in chaos and has worked to move the tribe toward a stable future. Traditionalist Benny Smith advised Chief Smith to always be a student of the Cherokee people. For the past decade, Chief Smith has worked to build financial self-reliance, to revitalize the Cherokee language and build cohesive Cherokee communities. This plan is called the Declaration of Design Purpose.
I recall 10 years ago we were going 100 different directions. And so aligning where we wanted to go, our efforts, our energies, our resources to get to that happy and healthy people was really the purpose, the function, and the success of the Declaration of Design Purpose.
This design purpose focuses on Gadugi, working together for a better quality of life for this and future generations.
The greatest service we can provide for our people is to create a job, a meaningful job, that can take them to where they want to go. We did a study once. We found the ratio to be 1 to 8. We could spend $1 creating a job for that one family, or we could spend $8 trying to support them.
We not only provide good quality jobs, we also provide one of the best benefit packages of any industry. And that reduces the burden on our government and allows our citizens to become self-reliant and self-sufficient.
In just 10 years, the Cherokee Nation has created employment for more than 5,000 people at the government and its businesses. These jobs allow Cherokee citizens to take care of themselves and their families while remaining in their home communities.
I think growing up, I always felt that I would leave this area and go work out of state or either in Tulsa or Oklahoma City. Now, with the opportunities that Cherokee Nation's offering, I find that people are staying local.
To develop jobs in Cherokee communities, the Cherokee Nation created Cherokee Nation Businesses in 2004.
Cherokee Nation Businesses is the holding company for all of our businesses. Not only do they grow internally, they try to buy or expand businesses and bring them to the Cherokee Nation to create jobs. We also have career development programs and services on the government side to help cities and counties to recruit businesses and develop people's skills.
There are 2 young men in Mays County who came home from the war in Iraq. They started their business in the incubator program at the Mid-America Industrial Park, and now they're independent and their business is growing considerably.
What a business wants is a solid, loyal, skilled workforce, and that's one of the things we can offer.
Cherokees don't want a handout. They want a chance to support themselves and their families.
That is why the Cherokee Nation continually puts a strong emphasis on education, vocational training, and scholarships. Working to improve their quality of life over the past 10 years, tens of thousands of citizens have earned higher education scholarships. 3,000 students graduated from Talking Leaves Job Corps, and more than 1,200 students earned their GED.
We also have started some innovative programs that are targeted towards hard-to-fill positions, both at the Cherokee Nation and also to support an economy within the 14 counties of the Cherokee Nation.
Since 1999, the Cherokee Nation has rebuilt a school system that has since graduated nearly 40 Gates Millennium Scholars, allowing these students to go to their university of choice for 8 years. Sequoia Schools graduates continue to show outstanding academic achievement and leadership ability.
Excellence has become an expectation at Sequoia Schools. It's gone from a school that could not meet enrollment to a school where enrollment has grown exponentially.
To help ensure Cherokee students have the resources necessary to succeed, the Cherokee Nation gives a portion of car tag revenues to public schools throughout the Cherokee Nation.
Since the motor vehicle tax was first passed in about 2001, we have distributed nearly $20 million of those taxes to Oklahoma Public Schools.
The Cherokee Nation knows that educating a workforce and creating jobs for Cherokee citizens in their communities means that there are infrastructure improvements that are needed. During the past 10 years, with Cherokee Nation assistance, Cherokee citizens have built 122 miles of new water lines, serving more than 1,300 families. The nation provides the materials, and the people lay the pipes. Through this effort, Cherokees bring clean, safe drinking water to their homes.
In this same way, Cherokees have built nearly 30 new community centers for community gatherings, trainings, and meetings.
Cherokee Nation provided materials and assistance, while citizens did the work. Working with local, state, and federal governments, the nation has improved or built more than 650 miles of roadway and numerous bridges throughout the Cherokee Nation, making it easier for our citizens to get to work and school safely. Cherokees are a strong and independent people, but we also are people who look out for our fellow Cherokees who aren't in a position to do everything themselves.
During the past 10 years, the Cherokee Nation established elderly housing facilities in Jay, Tahlequah, and Stilwell, and provided more than 22,000 families with assistance for repairing, renting, buying, and even building their own homes.
The Cherokee Nation is also there to help when Cherokee families need the essentials of a good quality life. Over the past decade, the tribe has provided more than 3,000 families with assistance with water and septic systems, assisted more than 13,000 families with social services such as low-income heating and energy, emergency assistance, and burial assistance, and served more than 384,000 meals at the tribe's elderly nutrition programs located throughout the Cherokee Nation.
We're serving probably 150 to 200 meals a week. So when you put all that together in the other sites that over the Cherokee Nation jurisdiction, you're affecting a lot of elderly people.
One key accomplishment during the past decade is the expansion of health services.
During this time, the tribe opened health centers in Bartlesville and Veneta, expanded facilities in Salina and Salisaw, and replaced small clinics in Nowata and Muskogee with much larger facilities that offer a wider range of services. Cherokee Nation has also assumed operations of W.W. Hastings Hospital in Tahlequah. Since 1999, the Cherokee Nation's health system has treated more than 3.6 million patients. Keeping Cherokee communities strong is vital to preserving the language and culture of the Cherokee people. During the past 10 years, the Cherokee Nation has worked to find ways to help citizens learn to speak the language. In 2001, Cherokee Nation built a school system where the core curriculum is taught in the Cherokee language, the first of its kind since statehood. With its inception more than 10 years ago, hundreds of Cherokee children have attended the school, paving the way for future fluent Cherokee speakers.
It's been one of the most effective ways we've found to revitalize the language, and so we really see that as a vehicle to replicate throughout the Cherokee Nation, do pilots in the public schools to really make big steps towards revitalizing our language.
In fact, the nation has implemented pilot Cherokee programs in 5 Oklahoma public schools, creating a broader population of young Cherokee language speakers. The Cherokee National Youth Choir promotes the Cherokee language through song. During the past 10 years, the choir has recorded 8 albums, won numerous awards at the Native American Music Awards, and even performed for the president. This past decade, the Cherokee Nation has focused a good deal of energy on teaching Cherokee citizens our culture, our heritage, and our history. The tribe has developed cultural tourism, redeveloping many historically significant locations, illustrating our tribe's sovereignty.
When we talk about tribal sovereignty, we're just talking about the ability of the tribes to govern themselves, to make their own rules, to make those decisions for themselves and their people that any other government does. We've had quite a bit of success in the last decade in advancing our sovereignty and defending it. Defending it is what we do every single day.
An indispensable component of any government is transparency.
And to that end, the Cherokee Nation passed the Freedom of Information Act and the Cherokee Nation Free Press Act, developing an independent newspaper. Additionally, in 2001, the administration adjusted its strategy in dealing with outside governments, while opening an office in Washington, D.C. to serve as a liaison between Cherokee citizens and the U.S. Congress, federal agencies, and other national organizations, pushing the state and federal governments to protect the citizens' treaty rights, advocating for a delegate in Congress. Hunting and fishing rights and water rights all remain priorities.
During the last 10 years, we have made lots of strides within the nation, particularly in the legal arena, in protection of Indian children, in advent of our juvenile drug court, which is a healing to wellness court, protecting families by taking child support enforcement in-house. Our Marshal Service has reestablished its position in the legal community. We have cross-deputization agreements with almost every jurisdiction now within the state. We continually fight in the courts to advance the position of the Cherokee Nation and hopefully to re-achieve what we had prior to Oklahoma statehood. One major victory that we have had during this last decade or so is settlement of the large Arkansas riverbed case, which had been pending in the courts for decades. What that means is basically redevelopment of Indian country or reestablishment of land that has the same status as reservation. Part of the Arkansas riverbed settlement gave us the ability to do that in a very expedited fashion, and that is a major achievement for us.
Another major achievement was revamping a broken financial system to remove federal oversight. The tribe's leadership developed processes and accounting standards that put it right and has earned 8 consecutive awards for its financial systems and excellence in financial reporting. This restructuring has allowed the nation to be the first in Oklahoma to issue bonds to support the construction of its health centers. Developing individuals is an important part of empowering the present and building for the future. The Cherokee Nation believes the best investment that it can make is in its people.
We firmly believe that everybody in the world, especially every Cherokee, is a leader. You have to lead yourself, then you can go on to lead your family, your community, your nation, and your country. So we've invested heavily in the last couple of years and intend to do so for the next decade in helping people to understand where they're at, point A, all their weaknesses, their strengths, their opportunities, and help them vision to where point B is. Where do they want to go? How do they want to see the future? And what are the steps in between? I think the legacy I would hope that could be recorded for the last decade is actually memorialized on Water Street near our courthouse. There's actually a plaque in granite. And it said in the year 2003, we had a choice to make. We could pass on the great Cherokee legacy or to allow it to lapse. And that great Cherokee legacy, which we've seen over episode and episode of history, is that we face adversity, survive, adapt, prosper, and excel. And now we've been gifted that legacy, and the decision is ours. We either can pass it on or to allow it to lapse.
In the past 10 years, under the leadership of Principal Chief Chad Smith and the support of the Tribal Council and a dedicated workforce, the Cherokee Nation has been reestablished as a strong tribal government with financial stability, accountability, and transparency. Its economy has seen booming growth with more than 5,000 new jobs for Cherokees. Cherokee communities are working together to build community centers, homes, water lines, and helping in times of need. These strong communities help preserve the language and culture of the Cherokee people. Children are speaking and singing the language. Building upon a foundation of Cherokee values, culture, and language, and striving to leave a legacy for future generations, the Cherokee Nation will continue to survive, adapt, prosper, and excel, ultimately reaching its vision of becoming a happy and healthy people.